What up, guys? This is
Cheevo, guys!
back here again with another achievement guide. Today, we're going to be focusing on Spirit Arena. This game is published by Jandusoft and it was developed by Sweet Dream Studio. It's only $5.99 and it's an easy 1 to 2 hour completion or platinum trophy. Most of these achievements are cumulative. We have to play up to 20 games. We need to defeat up to 5,000 enemies. We need to cast up to 5,000 spells. You need to lose 50 health points. You need to dash 100 times, swap 100 times, and besides that, all of the other achievements or trophies are related to upgrading your stats. Basically, you play 10 rounds, and as you play, you upgrade your stats. Now, I want to point out that a level will end after wave 10, so you get an opportunity to upgrade all the way until wave 10. But after wave 10, you complete the level, and the next level, your stats and upgrades will be completely wiped and you'll start back at the stock stats for that character. Now real quick, I pulled up the controls so you can see how to play. We have achievements related to using the dash and swap buttons 100 times a piece, LB to swap and RB to dash. So let's go ahead and start up the first level. You're going to be able to choose 2 different characters. At first, I recommend playing on easy. I felt that both characters were pretty similar. If you press start, you can check out what the stats are for the character. I found that both of these starter characters have pretty similar starting stats. Now, once you start up your game, you're going to unlock your first achievement for playing your first game. Now, this is basically the tutorial level. You're going to find that this is a twin stick shooter. However, enemies can only be killed with the same color projectile. For example, if the enemies are red, you have to use your red weapon. If the enemies are blue, you have to use your blue weapon. You could swap between your weapon colors by using the swap button, which is LB on Xbox or L1 on PlayStation. Now you should unlock your achievement called First Blood after you get your first kill. This is going to be worth another 50 gamer score, giving us a quick 100 gamer score already. So as I mentioned before, there's 10 waves in each level, so ultimately the goal is to survive 10 waves to be able to complete the first level. Now after you complete each wave, you get an opportunity to select 2 of 3 upgrades. Now if you press start, it'll show you your stats. We pretty much have an achievement or trophy related to each of these stats. As you can see, I just unlocked my first one. This one was for getting your spell cooldown down to 0.15. So, now that I have my achievement related to my spell cooldown, I don't necessarily want to pick up power-ups related to that category anymore. For instance, I may want to work on the achievement related to the damage, which requires you to get your damage stat up to 200. So moving forward, I focused on selecting the power-ups that helped my damage stat. You can walk up to each power-up and it tells you how it's going to affect your stats. Now sometimes these power-ups will have negative effects as well, so you want to make sure that you read them before. For instance, let's say I'm trying to get my damage up to 200. Not only do I want to focus on getting the power-ups that are going to help increase my damage stat, but I want to avoid picking up the power-ups that are going to subtract or lessen my damage stat. So personally, I found that the most successful method was to work on 1 stat per run. So what I would do is I would play the first level, I'd play all 10 waves, but I'd only focus on getting the upgrades or selecting the upgrades that are going to help me get my achievement for that specific stat. So more than likely, you're going to have to play this game at least 5 to 15 times depending on your luck, because a lot of these power-ups are totally randomized, so this is a little bit based on luck in terms of how long it's going to take you to get your full 1000 gamer score or platinum trophy. I do think that the worst case scenario is about 2 hours as long as you know what you're doing and what you're going for. However, I have heard of people getting this done in less than an hour, so I think 1 to 2 hours is a good estimate on how long it should take you to get your full 1000 gamer score or platinum trophy. Now as you can see, on my 9th upgrade, I finally ended up getting my Destroyer achievement worth 50 gamer score for getting my damage number up to 200 in one game. This made my damage super powerful, where it was really easy to defeat the last boss. Now if you want a good method on how to grind out your 5,000 kills, well, for one, you only need 2,000 kills. I found that my 5,000 kill achievement popped right after my 2,000 kill achievement. I think they just have it tracked wrong or something like that, so hopefully it pops at 2,000 for you guys too. But ultimately, I only ended up needing to kill 2,000 enemies, not 5,000. I think my casting achievements also popped early, so just know that the achievements pop a little off, but in your favor. They may pop earlier rather than later. But if you do decide you want to grind out your kills and get them over with, you can do so on this boss battle, as the enemies will keep respawning if you keep defeating them. If you don't focus on the boss at all, you can keep focusing on wiping out your enemies, and again, there is an infinite respawn, so they will just keep respawning and respawning if you want to grind out those 5,000 kills, which again is really only 2,000. Now, as I mentioned before, you can press pause to check out your stats. Personally, this is how I was able to keep track of all of my stats, as well as how far or how close I was to upgrading them to be able to get those achievements tied to those stats. Now, I recommend running through the first level on easy a few times to grind out some of the earlier achievements. However, I do recommend eventually completing the first level on normal difficulty, as you will unlock another character. I'm talking about the monkey character. I'm not too sure on his name, but he does have some increased stats compared to the default characters that you start with. So it just makes it a little bit easier to get some of the harder luck-based or random-based achievements. Now, as you can see, after playing my first 10 waves, literally playing the first level for my first time, I ended up with 250 gamer score. So you should be able to get 250 gamer score in under 10 minutes. So next, I started up a new game. This time I started it up on normal, first level, and I decided I was going to focus on my range number. This is basically how far your projectiles go before they disappear. So, as I mentioned before, after each wave, just make sure that you're choosing the 2 projectiles that will benefit the stat that you're working on the most. After wave 9, I ended up getting my achievement for getting my range number up to 100. That was that achievement related to that specific stat. I also ended up unlocking my Butcher achievement for defeating 1,000 enemies here in my second run or second playthrough of the first level. After that, I was on to my third playthrough, in which I ended up unlocking my achievement for playing 10 games. Kinda weird, as I mentioned before, some of the achievements or trophies tend to pop earlier than intended, so I ended up getting my achievement for playing 10 games after just playing 3 games. During my third playthrough, I ended up unlocking my achievement for casting 5,000 spells. I really feel like that one unlocked early as well, because I don't think I casted 5,000 spells by this time, but it gave it to me early. You also want to make sure that you get hit by the enemy at least 50 times, because we have an achievement related to doing so. Besides that, I ended up getting my achievement back to back for 2,000 and 5,000 kills. I got the serial killer achievement right here, worth 50 gamer score, and at the same time, it's weird that it popped after. Definitely not in order. I got the Slaughterer achievement worth 50 gamer score for killing 2,000 enemies. So that's just proof right there that the tracking is not working correctly. But again, in our benefit, I got the 2,000 kills and 5,000 kills achievements back to back. Now, here's Hugo, the monkey character that I mentioned earlier. You can unlock him by beating the first level on normal difficulty. As you can see, he starts off with the increased speed, 14 speed. So, increased stats on unlockable characters may help you get some of these achievements faster. Now, the next few achievements are ones that took a little bit longer than I expected, but again, I ended up taking about an hour and 40 minutes or so to get all of my achievements, which was a little longer than I expected, but I didn't have as much luck with the randomized power-ups. Now, in this run, I was going for the speed stat, so as I mentioned before, you just want to focus on collecting the power-ups that are going to increase your speed, not lower it. At this point, I was at speed 29 going into wave 9, and with my wave 9 power-up, I ended up picking up the paper airplane, and I finally unlocked the I am speed achievement worth 50 gamer score. Now, I want to point out that when you start the game, you don't have a lot of these power-ups available. For instance, that paper plane, that one, even randomized, won't end up in your game until you unlock it. You need to complete or beat the first level a few times, even the second level, to start unlocking more advanced power-ups. Some of these more advanced power-ups will help you get your achievements faster, so don't be afraid to play the first level on harder difficulties or maybe even the second level. Now, these last 2 achievements took me a while. I would say that I got all of the rest of the achievements in under an hour. It was these last 2 achievements that I was having the most trouble with. The first one being the dash cooldown for 1 second. I ended up unlocking it here. I unlocked it as the Hugo character, and that's for getting your dash cooldown down to 1 second. The second one I had trouble with, I ended up unlocking on the second level, again after I had unlocked some more advanced power-ups. The last achievement I ended up unlocking was the surprise attack achievement worth 50 gamer score for getting your spell speed number up to 100. So yeah, besides the randomization mechanics, this is a pretty easy and quick completion or platinum trophy. Let me know how long it took you down in the comments below. Other than that, I'd like to give a huge thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers. We just hit 20 patrons. I'd like to give a special shout out to everybody in the biggest fan club, including Tim G84, AOJ, Blackbird, and Kegger101. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.